Sanders is breaking campaign tradition and saying he's going to raise taxes this year. What do you think?
So I watched the town hall, and here's the thing. I actually like how he explains it. I mean, I know I'm a bleeding heart liberal, and I think raising taxes are a good thing. But I like how Bernie explains it, right? And I think the point he made in the town hall, if you get a chance to see it, when he was talking about Medicare for all, which I think is the best example. So I think this is where there's some schisms between the two parties, because what Hillary is saying and what the Hillary Clinton camp is saying is the Affordable Care Act is working and needs some fixes, but why would we go through this debate again? And what Bernie is saying is we need a system where everybody gets health care. And how it works is, yes, at the beginning he's raising taxes. So we are going to all pay more in Medicare taxes. But, and the example he made I thought was epic. He said, if you are a family that pays $10,000 a month in healthcare premiums, right, we are going to raise your taxes. So you might pay $5,000 in Medicare taxes, but you will no longer pay healthcare premiums. So overall, on the balance sheet, you're actually going to have a cost savings of $5,000 a year, or whatever it might be, a month, however you're paying it. So I don't have a problem necessarily with raising taxes. I have a problem with those tax dollars go.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronald Reagan raised taxes. Don't believe the hype. He called it an adjustment. We're going to make a little adjustment here, right? I mean, but he raised taxes. Republicans raise taxes all the time. They just give them funny, weird names like, oh, we're just going to charge a fee. It's a tax.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
I really have to applaud Bernie Sanders for coming out and just saying it, because the last time that this happened was in 1984, and that's when the party's nomination for Walter Mondale. And he got demolished for it. All of a sudden, he was criticized for saying something like that, and no one really agreed with him, and so they just took him out of the candidacy completely.
Here's my thing, Tamara, on that particular point. I just really feel as though, maybe it's just me, but I really feel as though that this election, like Obama's election was historic. This election is about, it's not going to be a historic election. This is going to be about an agenda. And I think you see it on both sides of the aisle. Are we going to do business as usual, whether it's Democrat or Republican, or are we going to have a political revolution, whether it's Democrat or Republican? Now, here's the thing. The problem with the Republican Party is I don't think that Trump is going to be the revolution people think he's going to be. I think Trump is going to get into office and he's going to be a very moderate president.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what he says very carefully, right? He's pro a woman's right to choose, right? He's, the only thing he's against is raising the minimum wage, but everything else, he's, quote, I'm going to return Jimmy Hoffa to his rightful role in America. Means I am pro private sector labor unions. I understand you need collective bargaining. So I just think, going back to Bernie in particular, and this idea of raising taxes, America, let's be real, it's time for us to raise taxes. Millionaires and billionaires have got to pay their fair share, number one. And number two, Wall Street is making money hand over fist, and they're not paying any of it. Big problem. Just saying.
I know. It's frustrating to say the least.